Hi, I'm Liam Newberry, Editor-in-Chief of the Beacon Podcast. Over the past couple of weeks, my crew and I have found that making a podcast isn't easy. In fact, it's pretty difficult, so we took a day off from recording structured episodes, editing, and running around to sit around a table and talk. The FillerCast is a lot of fun, and so we're sharing it with you. Raw, uncut audio of the Beacon Podcast crew doing what they do best, talking. Enjoy! You know, Shane, I'm really not afraid of you being colorblind.
I mean, it'd be kind of ironic since I'm a visual student.
That's true, yeah.
I mean, I do know a colorblind visual student, but anyway, that's another point.
Right, so anyway, so you said that the school does constantly smell really weird.
But, like, it never has a consistent weird smell.
Yeah, it's
That's
always
true.
bad,
It's
but
either
it's different kinds of bad.
Yeah.
So,
it's either poop or Chinese
It's
food.
Is
the
it
charm
usually-
of
It's
Beacon.
is it usually the culinary kids?
No.
Or is it...
No, it's like the
Sometimes
hall,
it's
it's the
just, like,
staircase.
Sometimes
can't
it
be
just
the
smells
culinary
like
kids.
somebody crapped their pants, and other times it just smells like odd food.
Because we have a
Right.
terrible plumbing system. It leaks in the basement.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
that's true. It
that's-
ruined, like,
That's
just at
delightful.
least half a lumber shipment.
Okay, remember when like Miss Bukowski's rooms used to smell bad all the time, and I think it was like the class that was going from in and out of her class.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
Oh, it
they had
also smells like
Fizetta,
B.O.,
before.
yeah.
Yeah, when the
really.
first
Well,
one.
I'm very familiar with the smell of
go-
B.O.
go-
Because I
Oh, I'm
smell that
sure.
all the time.
Yeah, you really do.
Maybe Beacon's infested with mold.
Yeah.
I'm
Mildew.
convinced.
I had a problem with that
This
in
is a
elementary
very
school.
old building.
I used to
It
be
is true.
I used to be very allergic to
We'll
mold.
get
and my
asbestos.
elementary school had a serious
Oh,
problem
great.
with
I
it, and
hate
they
that
wouldn't clear
word.
it out. So when my mom had to go in at one time when I was in like first grade, like I couldn't breathe in the middle of class, and my mom stormed in and like freaked out on them and told them to clear out mold. So they had to spend a couple $1,000s to clear out the mold in the
Wow.
ventilation
Wow.
system.
Your allergies are a snitch.
I know.
So the reason why is because somebody has a big bag of Chinese food, basically. That's why they're
Oh,
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
that would
makes
explain the
sense. Yeah.
Chinese food smell.
that's more understandable. I can
sure
tolerate
would.
that more. I thought it was like burning rubber or something. I was like, this is
Sometimes it just
absolutely
smells like
disgusting.
burnt too.
I mean, if you want to.
I could not breathe. I was like, there's mold.
Ashes.
I'm not breathing in.
See, there is the conspiracy that Beacon is haunted, though. Maybe it's just like ghost
Confirmed.
smells.
Maybe it's a
Confirmed.
Smells. Would ghosts smell?
yes.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
What if
they like?
What if my
purposely
entity
do
just
it?
smells like?
Like the
crap
smell
all
of
the
cigarettes
time?
or like
Like, do
perfume.
ghosts like fart
from the
too?
old
Like, do you think that's
times.
what it is?
Well,
I
then,
don't know. Let's ask a ghost.
Yeah, I don't think ghosts have a gastrointestinal system.
let's get
so
our resident ghost and ask him.
Hey, yeah.
Next
Where are you,
podcast,
bud?
we're gonna do a Ouija session. We're gonna summon some. No, there's an A, not an IE.
I know.
The infamous Ouija board demon.
Oh, goodness. So, all right. I have a quick question about capstones, right? So right now they're in the alpha group. None of us are seniors. We don't know what the process is, right?
Yep.
Okay. So why do they do it in chunks? Like, why doesn't the class just?
Because that would take 30 years.
I don't think so.
That is true.
Like,
Yeah.
why?
Because some people have really long capstones. And
So
some
if they
people
just
have,
did
like,
it
2 minute
all
long
at once,
capstones.
then it would be like hell.
Yeah. Plus, like the groups that like alphas, they get the best equipment first, and then like the last groups,
Wait,
they
so
get.
how do
Is
they
that really
decide-
how it works?
Yeah,
How do
because
they
they're
decide the
making
alphas?
their capstones sooner, so they
think
need
it's-
like the stuff.
Wait.
I think it's
I was like,
literally
oh, wow.
just random, like pick of the draw.
I'm gonna have to make a point of to
Is
ask
it
Ms.
possible to
Well,
use
no.
your own equipment? Like, can you choose to do that, or
Yeah,
like,
sure.
that's like a
Probably
stupid
should,
question?
yeah.
There's no reason.
Remember
not to.
last year, Rudy was carrying around his really expensive camera
Oh,
around
yeah.
the school like
Yeah.
for months at a time.
Speaking of capstone,
I was
I
gonna
legit
get
have
that
no
next.
idea. So like, if anybody has
I ha-
any ideas that they can throw around, that'd be really cool. 'Cause, like,
I go
Sophia's
through like
fishing for capstone ideas.
phases of like having like 15 ideas.
Just don't tell anyone your ideas.
And then,
Do
like,
not.
immediately after being like, oh, those are stupid.
Yeah.
And then
No,
I
I
going back to having no ideas. Even though the ideas I had weren't necessarily, like, stupid.
I
Yeah.
had to write a few lines of dialogue for a study group I'm in, and I figure I might use that to some effect.
I thought I was the only one drawing blanks.
I mean, no,
Like-
because I legit have no idea. Like, I get ideas occasionally, and I'm like, oh, that's really good, and then I try to build on it, and it ends up Like I'm
Terrible.
I'm indecisive. Yeah,
Tacky.
like it ends up really cheesy.
So
And
are we? Is this too early to be thinking about it? Like, are we
No,
supposed to?
No, I've been thinking about it
And
since the
yeah.
first day of
No, I
freshman
have
year.
too,
Yeah.
but
We're gonna be presenting it in exactly a year.
yeah, no, exactly. Well,
And,
depending on what group you're in.
I'm afraid like when we start Mrs. Reeves like class, it's gonna be the first day. We're gonna get our syllabus, sign it, and then like she's gonna be like, all right, everybody, do you have your ideas? Write it down. Let's get started
Well, I
right
mean,
now.
I pray to
obviously,
God
as
it's
you've
not like
as you've seen, they go through several different films before their capstone. They do like the haiku,
Yeah.
then the
Yeah.
what was it, the
Oh,
5x5.
Yeah.
So like you have time to like come up and develop ideas.
Yeah.
You start storyboarding
and
early
and
though.
you learn a lot about like film
That
is
scares
an
me.
art, obviously, and so there's a lot of stylistic stuff that goes into it, and you learn from great artists. Like I've been watching movies my entire life, and some of my favorite directors like Cameron Crowe and Steven Spielberg, like people who I.
Hitchcock.
Yeah, exactly. Hitchcock's a master of suspense. There are artists who I really like, and that kind of style can influence you as an artist. And you'd be surprised that by watching their movies how much you can pick up in creating films.
But the thing
It's,
is, I don't really watch that many movies at all.
Wow.
I don't either. I really don't. I don't have the patience to sit through them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless I'm with like somebody or in a movie theater.
Like the last
I have
time
to be like in a group to really get into it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we go to,
I think it's the
VMs
commentary,
sometimes,
honestly. Like hearing other people's like thoughts during the movie kind of helps
That's why
me
they have
focus
the
in
like.
more.
Yeah.
That's why they have
Helps you
like director's
understand it
commentary on
different
some.
ways.
But like I don't
DVDs.
want to hear other people talking about it. I want to hear like my friends' views. I don't know.
I like director's
Helps me
commentary.
understand it
Maybe
better.
maybe I'm the only one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do like sitting like in a silent room, like underneath a blanket, watching a movie with no disturbances.
I cannot do that.
I
can do
prefer
that
to do
maybe
that,
sometimes,
actually,
like
yeah.
if I'm really in the mood for a movie, but like other than that,
Can
I'm
do
not-
that
It
for
depends
about
on what
20
movie I'm
minutes.
watching. Like, for example, Hunger is, I don't know how many of you have seen that. It's actually a really, like, pretentious, arty film in some ways. But, it's a pretty good movie. And a lot of it is nonverbal. And so, the watching it with a group would ruin it somewhat, I think. That's the kind of movie that you watch by yourself. Whereas Jurassic Park, you watch that with other people.
I've
You
never
watch
seen that movie.
Jurassic, that's just a given.
I've seen bits and pieces
on
of
Netflix.
Jurassic
Yeah.
Park.
Well, it's like you said, film is an art form, so
Yeah.
everyone can see it differently. Some people can absolutely hate film, and other people absolutely love it.
Yeah,
so
that's-
I love film.
I mean, I got to watch The Usual Suspects recently with Liam, and that was freaking amazing. Like,
Such a good movie.
I can't really say much about it, but
Kevin Spacey's breakout roles.
yeah.
I know you guys have, but have you guys seen Stand By Me? It's like
Oh, it's really good.
It's like the
really
coming
My
of age
favorite
story.
movie.
It's based off a novella by Stephen King. So
Yeah.
just like The Shawshank Redemption, which also turned out to be a good movie.
Oh, I watched that movie like 5 times.
Um,
It was so good.
Oh, I have a question for you, Dylan. So, Horatio is one of my favorite roles in fiction ever, right? So, what have you found to be most helpful in developing the character? Because a lot of people have done it a lot of different ways. So it's
Yeah, I'm kind of taking what LeClaire so far has told me about the character in our
choice.
modern version, where he told me I'm going to be very hipsterish.
Use Mr.
I
as a
can totally
reference.
see that.
You have to like grow a beard.
Yeah.
Like wear
shit.
clothes.
Get one of those curly mustaches, like the handlebars.
Oh.
Just look at 2012 Tumblr and you'll be fine.
Yeah, no, that works.
Yeah.
Do you
That's
know
very
how other
accurate.
people are developing their characters, or just?
Like,
Yeah,
my
I know.
question is, why are we doing it modern?
know.
Because
I-
Shakespeare has done a million
With the
different ways.
twist.
Shakespeare has done a million different ways with a million different settings. And
On ice.
so, yeah, no.
When is Beacon gonna do an on ice show? I've
We
been
do cars
advocating
on ice.
for that since freshman year. In Space on Ice.
Yeah.
Cars the musical.
LeClaire, if you're listening to this,
You know what we haven't
No,
done
no,
is a lot
Shrek the Musical too.
In Space on Ice.
What we
Would you-
haven't
would you
done is a
just
lot of
rent an
science
ice rink,
fiction.
basically?
No,
And paint
basically
the
my
place?
idea
No, I-
is
Turn the black
we
Yeah.
do it
into an
during
ice rink.
yeah, we do it during the winter. We get a bunch of kiddie pools and we just fill it with water and we leave the windows open.
yeah.
And then we have her.
I would be
Okay,
terrified.
so their sides would get in the way. I have to go down. So you have to get like a really
You gotta
big one.
get good at jumping. You gotta,
There-
jump
gotta get
from
good.
pool to
You
pool.
can
First,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
gotta
good.
get good.
You gotta like
Second, you gotta get good.
yeah.
That's
You gotta-
really hard, by the way. I
gotta,
took
like-
figure skating as a kid. It's very
Oh,
hard to
so
jump.
did I. I gave up
Oh
because
yeah,
I
it's
kept
going
falling.
to be a nightmare if you do that.
You gotta incorporate like musical numbers and stuff.
I just
I'm
couldn't
not,
get to
so
the next
so as you know,
basic,
I'm
so
not
I
very
quit.
athletic,
Oh yeah.
and I'm not very coordinated. And I played hockey when I was about 8 years old.
Oh boy.
And instead of actually playing hockey, I sort of just wandered around the ice rink while like this battle of prepubescent jocks went on around me. I would like skate around the ice rink and
Liam,
just
the
sort of
other way.
float around, yeah. And I jumping was never something I could do. That is,
This
Yeah.
would be a good transition to
Jumping
talk
and
about
spinning.
the anime of the year, Yuri on Ice.
yeah, I don't.
Oh my god.
I don't watch
I've
them.
heard about
I
that.
haven't
I've
seen
seen
it, but I've
Yeah.
heard it's
It's about
legendary.
homosexual skating.
I've
It's
heard
so
that it's
good.
really good.
Chloe watched it, so.
I'm cosplaying
That's
the little Russian boy.
I've seen a lot of it. I've seen like a lot of people talking about it. I haven't seen it.
It's on
yet.
Tumblr.
Isn't
and
there
a
little
lot.
hamsters
It's on
in it?
Tumblr.
Yeah.
Like little plush hamsters or something?
Anime
See,
is very
guy is
strange
too
to me
romantic.
because I read Journey to the West a long time ago, and a lot of anime is based off of that in some way or form. And Eastern storytelling is so different from Western storytelling that, like, and because it's so strongly influenced by that, you know, it just doesn't. It's just you know, it just forms this entirely different conception of how stories are told, and it's hard for me to transition into that. So there are some animes that I've enjoyed, but generally it's just, you know, not my kind of.
The only anime I like is Avatar:
show.
The Last Airbender.
Oh my god.
That was
I only saw the
my
first
favorite
season of
thing.
that, 'cause
So
after-
let's talk about the
'cause after-
official classification if that's on
After
it. Okay.
season 1, my torrent stopped working, so I couldn't watch it anymore.
It was on.
As it was
Me
coming out.
too.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
watched it as a
same.
kid, and then I rewatched it.
I wasn't allowed to watch
recently.
Nickelodeon as a
I've
kid.
never seen
It's
it, but
so
I've heard
good.
it's
I
really
rewatched
It's
it a
like
few years ago and I cried.
So good. I
Amazing.
It's
I
like,
think it's definitely the nostalgia factor, though.
Yeah.
but like on top of that, there's just so
Well, no,
much
'cause
like
I just watched it for
emotional
the first time, like,
development.
a couple
And then
months
there
ago,
was
and I
in
loved it.
Zuko,
I mean,
and then
And Zuko!
no,
Zuko.
in
There's
Zuko, he developed so well as a character, and then like
He was like one of my first crushes as a kid.
Sokka, me
Despite his
too,
horrible
me too.
scar.
Season 3, Zuko.
Yeah,
The Zuko with
and
the
then
hair.
like
Quality.
with the emo flip, yeah.
Not with like the
Um,
built
and
tail.
then Sokka's girlfriend turned into the moon.
It's pretty rough, man.
Yeah.
It's wild.
That's funny.
I mean, like I've never seen it, but I heard it's really, really good. And
It's
I
just
kind of want to.
Appa,
Yeah.
you are gonna want
Okay,
a big
Zuko
fat giant.
versus Azula.
Who?
Their fight, Zuko
Yeah.
and Azula.
Oh, their fights are
end. At
amazingly
the
end.
animated.
The one at
Oh,
the
yeah.
Oh
end.
my god. It's
The one
so
at the
Well,
very end,
no,
yeah.
so what I read once was that Avatar: The Last Airbender's fights are based off of like
Actual
a
kung
blend,
fu.
a blend of
Yeah.
like 5 different martial arts.
Yeah.
And
Wow, that's
you
really
know
cool.
that trying to study that as an animator must be insanely difficult.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because like
You're
the
just-
4 little elements, they all like move
Imagine your
differently
job.
stuff.
And then
imagine
there's,
your
like-
job being like watching martial arts tournaments for hours on end on YouTube,
Well, but that's
and
nothing
then
new.
animating it.
That's nothing new. Like when you have, the Jungle Book, they studied all the animals,
That's
all
true.
that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
I know,
Hey, they
but
did it on Yuri on
but
Ice.
martial arts is very
Yeah, oh
martial
my
arts is
God,
very
yeah.
like dependent on very small.
And then there's the
movements, so it's-
subsets of benders, like the metal benders. Like that's like
Like I said, I only
hardcore.
watched
It's
season
like
1. I
well,
don't.
no, I'm
It's-
super
it's
into
very
the show.
cool.
It's so
Blood
good.
benders
It's
too.
so
Yeah.
good.
There are
like, I
bloodbenders.
can't-
That's
Yeah,
badass.
Yeah.
like and you can just like
The swamp bender.
That
That's
is
my
really
favorite.
cool.
I'm a swamp
Not to bring
bender.
D&D into this, but that reminds me of the Blood Warlock from Dungeons and Dragons, whose sole ability
Okay.
is just traveling. just traveling
All right.
Have you watched season Legend of Korra?
I like
Legend of Korra is
like
so good.
okay,
Good,
okay. It's
but
definitely
it's still-
not.
It's
I
so
agree.
good.
It's
It's
good,
so good.
because it's still like the Avatar universe, and that's why I appreciate it and enjoy it. But in my opinion, it just like didn't stick with me like the Last Airbender.
And I
did.
wonder too if that's partly due to like the physical age of the characters, because
Right.
like Aang and those guys, I think
Aang was, like,
Zuko's the
12.
oldest.
Yeah.
He's like 16,
Yep.
right? And like in Legend of Korra, they're all like 17, 18 or whatever, and it's not like there isn't romance in Avatar, but it's just a different kind of emotional.
It's like a
growth.
childish.
Didn't that
Yeah.
I
last
hate
for
it when
one
they.
season?
I hate it when they.
Didn't that last for like one season?
Legend of
or something?
Korra?
Yeah.
It
I
was like
hate it.
It was
two.
like 3
I hate it when shows shoehorn in romantic subplots because
Yeah.
romantic
Yeah, I
subplots
agree.
don't
It's
work
usu-
unless
It's
you.
usually not done right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't work unless
It's-
the character you can believe that the characters like each other, and that's very difficult to do when the focus isn't almost entirely on that
Right.
relationship.
And like, plus a lot of the time it's thrown in just to be there,
Yeah.
just to
Yeah.
have a romantic relationship in the story, which throws it off because you're like, why is this happening? It's so unnecessary. I want to learn more about the plot, not this weird romance thrown in between two kids.
You
Yeah.
guys know,
It's
like,
almost fan service in a sense.
It
Like,
is.
what
Yeah,
else is
yeah.
the point?
Exactly.
The only time romance works is when the plot is almost entirely focused on it. That's why like romantic comedies are so funny, because they have the believable relationship with the comedy being
like ingrained in it.
yeah, exactly. And instead of it being two separate things, and like good romantic comedies do that well. Like Wedding Singer is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. And I mean, Adam Sandler hasn't done anything good since, really, besides a couple of
since
movies.
he was born.
He came out of the womb. Nothing was possible.
Adam Sandler.
But
I think
that's,
the more romance, more filler episodes they can fit in there. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
but
It's
filler episodes can be done without romance. Like Nikki and Paolo from Lost was a great example of a filler episode that worked without romance. None of
Never
you-
watched it.
Jesus
I've
Christ,
only
this is
seen
such a good
season
show,
one. I've
people.
only
Listen,
seen season one.
I
and it
mean,
just got
like-
really
Okay.
I got like
Uh,
Give a show isn't
almost
funny.
entirely through it.
I agree. Or like, if it's not like captivating, if like there's not enough like,
If it's like solely action.
Okay, how about Breaking Bad? You've all seen Breaking Bad,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I haven't finished
The episode Fly, like the Fly
Yes.
episode. That was a great filler episode.
That was that
done
was
so
great.
well,
so
and people
emotional
don't
too.
appreciate
It
the
was
like.
like low key just.
Yeah, people don't appreciate how good that episode was.
Yeah.
It's such a good episode.
There's actually an episode in the show Community, literally called a bottle episode.
Oh
where
yeah,
they're
yeah,
just
yeah. When
stuck
they're
in
like,
the same
and they've got the
room.
pen, right?
Yeah, because they're looking
pen.
for a pen.
Yeah.
And the entire thing is just in that one room. It's absolutely hilarious. So, like, filler
Community
can
is the
be
best
done right.
filler.
Okay.
It just needs to be the focus of an episode.
Yeah. Speaking of filler, this was a great filler episode, and I think everybody did really well. So I think that's about time to wrap it up because we're bordering on close to 16, 17 minutes. So I think, this was a good conversation. I think everybody contributed pretty well. So give yourself a hand. Anyway, this is
the audio.
an extra portion of the Beacon Podcast. Thanks for listening, everyone. Hello again. I hope you enjoyed our roundtable discussion. It was a lot of fun, and we'll try to do more of them. The contributors to this particular discussion were Shane Perry, Dylan McMahon, Liam Newberry, Chloe Peltier, Tessa Sundin, Sophia De Silva, Kiara Nichols, and Ms. Yevko. Thanks for listening, and remember to look out for episode 3 of the Beacon Podcast. Until next time.